No, that's 6 degrees of separation. With Kevin Bacon game? No. Yeah, he knows Jeffrey Gitomer. He's a certified Gitomer advisor. No, I'm not going to ask him if we could do a 3-way sit-down lunch with Jeffrey Gitomer. Yeah, I'll be sure to tell you how it went. See, my voice just did it again. I hope it doesn't happen during the interview. What's the best way to remember the correct pronunciation of Vicky's last name? I don't know, but I'm sure Randy Bartlett knows the answer to that question. The heavyset fellow that plays bass in Goo Goo Dolls? No, he's not the lead singer. Well, he sings, but yeah, there's another singer in the band. And Mitch doesn't like the bass player's voice. I don't think anyone likes the bass player's voice.
Now that completely flips the script. And now the eyes are not on, all eyes are not on her. Her eyes are on them coming in. Does that make sense? Hi.
Hello, sir. Can you share the first time that you were on?
Sorry, I'll pick that back up.
I know Vicky's last name is pronounced Moosney, correct?
No.
It says that on your Creating Connections podcast at the beginning.
It's Musney. Musney.
Okay. Welcome to episode 4 of DJ Center Stage TV. Our guest today is Mitch Taylor. Mitch is a 23-year veteran of the mobile DJ industry, having produced educational content for DJs for years. In 2014, he launched Sales for Event Pros workshops, training dozens of DJs on the process of sales. February 2015 found Mitch studying and training with America's #1 authority on sales, Jeffrey Gitomer, becoming the first Gitomer Certified Adviser for the events industry. In July 2015, Mitch published his book, Sales for Event Pros, to rave reviews. Today, Mitch is half of the Creating Connections duo with certified personality trainer Vicky Musney and produced the weekly podcast Creating Connections for Event Pros and also their most recent educational offering, Sales Help, a ride-along on an actual sales meeting with analysis as they move through the process with each client. Just like you, Mitch is a DJ, someone who loves to play music, entertain people, and move people emotionally through all kinds of mediums. He's a mentor and a friend of mine, and it's an honor to welcome Mitch Taylor. Mitch, thanks so much for being on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jim.
Absolutely. So I first reached out to you back in February of 2015 through Facebook Instant Messenger. Big Daddy brought up your name in conversation over lunch and mentioned that you were a professional and you help DJs in our industry. Can you share the first time that you're on the stage presenting to a room full of DJs?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I can. It was July 13th, 2009. I'm sick with dates. I remember dates like that, you know.
You're good with dates, yeah.
It was for the ADJA Chicago show, the first summer show that ADJA tried to run or had run. And Dr. Drax gave me the platform and opportunity to speak. And I did a seminar called 7 Steps in the Sales Cycle. And I sucked. I look it back, I'm like, oh God, that was so bad. Like the PowerPoint was horrible. The content was there. The delivery was bad. I would love to see, I wonder if Drax saw his video of that. I would love to see that now. And not that I'm phenomenal now, but just the evolution, right? Of where you are to where you were to where you are currently, you know? So that was the first time I spoke. Before that, I wrote for several different disc jockey publications, not several, a couple, Disc Jockey News and Current Audition. And now I also write for Promo Only's newsletter they send out every month to club DJs and national DJs and touring and radio and you know, mobile and all that. So yeah, it's been a long, strange trip, as the Grateful Dead have said. I spoke and delivered creative consultations, I spoke and did creative consultations in March of 2011 at Mobile Beat Las Vegas, my very first Mobile Beat that I spoke at. And I was so bummed when I got the schedule because my good friend, if you don't know this man, I'm going to tell you to reach out and know this man, Dave Windsor.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Windsor is a fellow maniac. He lives in Portland, Maine, well, just outside of Portland, Maine.
Mm-hmm.
He's on air, radio DJ, and I got to know Dave through the DJA Radio podcast and Disc Jockey America with Mark Farrell. And Dave was in the next room doing his microphone seminar. And this is my first time, national stage. My room is just packed. I mean, it's full seats, all chairs are full. And then, people are standing on the sides. And I'm like, holy, like I'm nervous. Larry Williams does my introduction. And frankly, took up, more time than he was supposed to, which is fine. But it was kind of funny looking back on it. So Larry's in the middle of his, introduction for me. And all of a sudden from the next room, you hear, "We love Mitch. We love Mitch. We love Mitch." And Dave had his whole room chanting that. And Dave's a giver. He's a man with just a pure, pure heart. And I just love him. We saw him in Maine. My wife and my family saw him in Maine for a trip back home. I'm from Maine originally. And we stopped in Portland. We flew in and had lunch with him. And he said he had to leave to get back to the farm or whatever, or take care of the animals. And he left, and I'm on my way to pay the check. And the lady says, "It's already been taken care of." And he's a man who's beat cancer. And so he's just a great man to know. And if you don't know him, he's one you should definitely check out. Humble, very humble guy, but great man. So that was the situation. I hope I didn't go on too long on that. I'm sorry.
No, not at, that's interesting to hear that. And I'm wondering too, how you felt after that and how you did as a result.
So how I felt after that, Dave took those nerves out of me.
Sure. That's great.
In that moment, and made me know on stage that I was loved. Yeah. And I think too often, I'm going to tip to performance now. I think too often we as performers don't know that. Your audience wants you to succeed. And that is so important to understand. There's very few audiences that want to see you fail, and especially at a wedding reception or an event where people are coming together for a celebration, a mitzvah or something like that. They want you to succeed. And so it's very important that you have that mindset and know that, they're not looking at you to throw tomatoes,
right.
Or throw a meatball. I'm dating myself for that reference too. But there was a DJ that had a meatball thrown at him once before. So long story in the past.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But anyway, they're not looking to do that if you truly put your best heart forward. And that's important. So Dave definitely took the nerves off me. How did I do? I got pretty good reviews. I was still looking back on it. The PowerPoint sucked. Thank God I have Vicky now to take care of my PowerPoints, because my PowerPoints would still suck. True confession, man. Vicky handles all my PowerPoints because I am not good at that.
Right. But talking about creating connections, whether it's at an event, a wedding, in front of DJs, tell me the story of how you met Jeffrey Gitomer and how it led to you becoming the first Gitomer Certified Advisor for the events industry.
Oh, wow. So I had studied Jeffrey since probably mid-2003 was when I first heard of Jeffrey Gitomer. And so I started to get my hands on anything I could for Jeffrey. And the first thing I opened up was Little Red Book of Selling, which is America's best-selling sales book of all time.
That's awesome.
When I opened up Little Red Book of Selling and I got into the content, I just loved Jeffrey's writing style. I just loved his writing style. And I'm like, dude, this is like real world, pull no punches, just straight to the point. And so I loved it. And so I needed more. So I immediately went and bought Customer Satisfaction is Worthless, Customer Loyalty is Priceless. I immediately after that went out and bought Little Gold Book of Yes Attitude, Little Black Book of Connections, Little Platinum Book of Cha-Ching. Anything I get my hands on Jeffrey was just like Jeffrey. I started consuming it. And so then that led in 2000, fast forward a little bit to 2009-ish, 10, somewhere in that ballpark. Jeffrey offered a course, online course. You could pay $400 or something stupid. And you could take this online test, this online coursework that you took. It was maybe, 2 or 3 hours. And go through this course, and then you test out afterwards. And if you test out afterwards successfully, you can call yourself a Gitomer Certified Ace of Sales, or an Ace of Sales. You can put ACE after your name is what he advertised it as. So I did that, and I put that in everything I started writing with for Disc Jockey News, for Current Audition, and all that. So that kind of started branding me, right, as a sales guy. And I shared Jeffrey's wisdom and knowledge and with my own spin on things, and that was kind of how I ran with it. And then in 2014, late 2014, some of that ballpark, mid to late, I'd already seen Jeffrey at a few different, conventions and things. I'd already helped him out at different, he was getting together in Milwaukee, doing a seminar in Milwaukee. So I offered to be part of the team at the conference that passes out his stuff and sells his stuff behind the table and, volunteer kind of work, right? Just to be able to get myself in that niche and meet some of his Gitomer certified speakers like Noah Rickon and Phil Gerbishak. I met through them and at a tweet up that Gitomer had in Milwaukee and a few other people, Andy Horner from Ace of Sales, the founder of Ace of Sales. I met and had a dinner with Brian Kellman and Andy Horner down in Milwaukee. So I'd already done a few of those things, volunteer. And then so fast forward to the offering of becoming a Gitomer Certified Advisor. And I'm like, this is coming really earlier than I wanted it to be. The plan is to hopefully retire in 10, 12 years from now. That's kind of my goal right now. And travel and speak. And that would be when I would really start looking at this seriously. But the opportunity was there. And I'm never a big guy to say, what if? I'm much more inclined to say, why not? Than what if.
Right.
And that to me is the reasoning. And so I talked to my wife. It was quite a big investment to do that. It was 4 figures, mid 4 figures. And then, pay your own way to Charlotte and do a weekend training with Jeffrey, 3 days with training with Jeffrey. And then you test out at the end. And if you test out at the end, then you test out positively. Of course, you pass, you can call yourself a Gitomer Certified Advisor, and you have that distinction for a certain length of time. And there's a renewing time and all that money you have to pay and all that stuff. And there's certain benefits that come with it as well. So, but when I walked into Charlotte, here I am, just the DJ. The guy who's done a few speaking engagements and done writing and that kind of thing. That's how Jeffrey got to start too, as a writer.
Okay.
So that to me, it kind of spoke to me, and I felt like that was a similar path, right? That we're going on together. And when I walk in there and I'm all of a sudden, I'm now thrown in the midst of, this isn't a DJ convention where everyone knows, me or whoever, and they're, glad handing and all that. This is, these companies are 1 million a year, 5 million a year, 10 million a year, and they lead sales teams, and they do,
Sure.
I'm playing with the big boys here. So it was very humbling, and yet an amazing experience. And that's where Roar was born. Roar was born too. Was at Jeffrey's private training. So.
And Roar stands for again?
Yeah, Roar is my seminar I did at Mobile Beat last year, which is risk, opportunity, action, and reward. It's a 4-step formula that I've applied to pretty much every area of my life. Because in everything we do, there's going to be a risk involved. So now you have to assess the risk. What's the risk involved? And out of that risk is born the opportunity for you to move forward, whatever that might be for an opportunity. And after that opportunity, you're assessing the risk of that opportunity. You decide you're going to take action or not. Inaction is also an action, right? And then finally, you take action or inaction, you're going to reap the rewards, the final R, reap the rewards of that action or inaction. So it's really a 4-step formula that I've used throughout my life and just broke it down for everyone at MobileBeat in 3 areas of your business: sales, marketing, and performance.
Awesome. Well, let's think about just the first time you met Vicky. Where and when did you first meet her?
Okay, so we connected. Long story short, we connected. Yeah, I don't have any long story short, do I? We connected on Facebook. I was doing a seminar. Where was this seminar at? This is going to be at the Las Vegas DJ show. I spoke and did a seminar called "Be the Expert," and the image for the promotion for that seminar was Candace Swanepoel, who was at the time a 24-year-old Victoria's Secret supermodel, and of course in bikini or lingerie or whatever you want to call it, bra and panties. And we did that as a setup for the thing, and it was called Be the Expert. I had a few female friends of mine at the time get upset and say that it was gratuitous, that I was using that imagery to promote my seminar. And I said, well, I'm sorry, but if you know me, nothing is going to be gratuitous. There's a purpose behind it, and there absolutely was. Because Candace Swanepoel and Victoria's Secret was how I born the idea of doing our scratch-off cards for tailored weddings for bridal shows.
Oh, okay.
That's where the content came from. Yeah. And yes, did I use that image to get eyeballs? Yes, absolutely. But did I also have content behind it? Yes, absolutely. It wasn't just gratuitous to get, hey, come see this seminar and I'll show you Candace Swanepoel on the screen. No, right. There's actual content behind it. So I didn't know Vicky from anybody, but I knew that she had spoke at a previous conference. And I'm pretty sure I knew at that time she was a Toastmaster as well. So I'm like, okay, I want an unbiased opinion. And I want it from a female. Because I want to know, after my seminar is over, just critique it for me, let me know what your thoughts are, and then tell me if you felt it was gratuitous or not. That's where Vicky's and my relationship started. And it grew from there. And we both found out shortly thereafter, after we sat down, I think I had lunch or whatever, and broke out my seminar, and she chatted, gave me some pointers, that we had a very similar approach in regards to sales, in regards to business, in regards to life. And with that was born the podcast and a book and a business and everything else from there.
So when she critiqued it, because you wanted somebody's outlook that wasn't that, you wanted a woman's perspective on that, what advice did she give you about it? Did she feel it was gratuitous?
She did not feel it was gratuitous at all. You could ask her, I suppose, but she told me that it wasn't gratuitous. She felt it was a good use of the subject matter. She understood the reason for eyeballs too, and she got that. Sure. She wasn't offended. I don't believe, you can ask her, but she wasn't offended at that usage, if you will. There's certain things that she gave me pointers on from a speaking standpoint. She was a speaker first and then became a writer. Okay. She's kind of gone at things a little, opposite of how I did. Right. How Gitomer did. And there's nothing wrong with either path. It's just how it happened. That's all. So yeah, it was very interesting to get that feedback and get that point of view. And from it is born a great friendship and a business. So.
And it's a great duo. It's great hearing you bounce ideas off of each other. I love the Creating Connections podcast. You know how I am. I listen to it every single episode.
Thank you.
And sometimes before it's even public. Yeah. That's what you found out too as well, because I subscribe to it.
Yeah, you can subscribe on my YouTube channel. If you want to get it as soon as it comes out, literally, then you're going to hit it on the YouTube channel. Otherwise than that, you can pick it up on iTunes. If you search Creating Connections for Event Pros on iTunes, or just Creating Connections, you'll find our podcast on iTunes and subscribe to it right from iTunes. Write a review if you like it. We greatly appreciate the feedback and would love to hear what you want to hear about and what you want to hear us chat about for business, for life, for creating connections. We definitely believe the mantra, which is we provide personal solutions through understanding people better. And
you offer a lot of rich content. Every single episode, there's two or three things at least that I pick up on personally, and I apply it to every aspect of what I do as a DJ, as an MC or sales along those lines. Since 2014, you've held your Sales for Event Pros workshop, helping DJs. Tell me about that.
So the workshop, is it's funny. The book was born from the workshop.
Okay.
Ironically, I wrote the workshop first. And so people that got a chance to go through the workshop first, that was originally called Sales as Solutions Workshop, my former company name. And I felt like there was nobody in the events industry, the DJ industry, literally walking people through and getting coaching on the sales process. Because the reality is you can't practice sales on a client. You're going to lose more than you win if you try out something new. And so to be able to have a safe space for people to be able to come and get critique and gain knowledge on sales from someone who has studied from America's, foremost expert on sales, one of them anyway, Jeffrey Gitomer, to be able to have that knowledge and applied to our industry,
right,
with our slant and our principles and our process is, I feel, a great benefit. And I've had a pleasure of coaching Bill Herman on sales. I've had the pleasure of coaching, other great people, Jeremy Brack, yourself. I mean, a lot of people. And so to me, it's an opportunity for me. And I love that part of it, frankly. We did a private coaching down in Detroit. We did two of them actually back in October, where both companies basically hired Vicki and I to come in and do the Sales for Event Pros workshop with her spin on it for personalities as well, which we now offer too. And that was an amazing experience, to be able to sit there and help a company owner, just a specific company owner, like one company, just sit there and focus on, okay, this is your process. This is what you're doing. Okay, so it's a little bit different than what we have for our process. Let's tweak this to fit you guys. Now let's delve into each segment and let's go into how we're going to make this work for your business model. It was great. I thoroughly enjoyed that part and being able to workshop these components out of the sales cycle, from connecting the researching side all the way through to the close at the end. So
when you came up with sales help, that was genius. And it just being able to, first of all, step into the sales process with you, with couples, and creating that connection with them based on personalities, all these different things, I would never be able to find that anywhere else.
It is a unique product. It's basically, you're able to ride along on a sales meeting with me. This is literally actual sales meetings that Tailored Weddings has, that we record on a call just like this. And then from there, Vicki and I do a live webinar where we workshop through each step of the sales process, and we watch it together. And then Vicki and I will stop the recording from the live meeting that we had. And then Vicki and I will delve into, okay, did you see how she reacted when he said this?
Right.
Or did you notice this about them, and she's a yellow, and this is why she acted this way, and this is why Mitch responded this way? Or this is the direction I went here, and you know what? In hindsight, I'd have done that a little bit differently, and I might have gone this way instead. Just things like that, because, again, you don't have an opportunity to critique yourself in the sales meeting. You're in the moment. You should be anyway. You're in the moment. So to be able to have a tool, to be able to go back and see how you did, I would encourage anyone to record your sales meetings, whether that's just audio and or video. But if you use a service like this, you can record it. And then you also have a benefit of being able to, oh, well, my dad wasn't here and I need him to be able to make the decision. Great. If you've recorded the meeting like this, done a virtual meeting with a client like this, now you can say, great, I'll send you the video of this and your dad can watch it. And then he'll have everything that we talked about, exactly how it happened, and he'll be able to make a more informed decision as well.
So tell me about the genesis of Sales Help. When did you think of this, and how did you think of it?
Sales help. We did the first one in June of 2016. It was coming to me because I'm like, there has to be a way for us to do something like this. And it battled around in my head and it battled around in my head. And then finally I just decided, I can do this. We can do this. We'll record a meeting with Tailored Weddings. And then Vic and I will analyze it. So we did a run through, we did a dry run on this with no one there whatsoever. Just Vic and I did a dry run.
Okay.
How it would work, you know what I mean? We're like, I need to figure out if this is going to work or not, because I'm not going to just go live and not know if it's going to work or not.
Sure. Yeah.
So we did a dry run. It worked great. So we're like, let's do it. Let's launch it. And I think that, the price we sell it for right now is like $199. We did a $249 special when we did the 6th session that you were on as well.
Mm-hmm.
Our first session. You were on both sessions, correct, Jim?
Yes.
Yeah. So, Sales Help 1 and Sales Help 2, there are 2 different sessions out. Sales Help 1 had 3 full sales meetings. There are 6 videos, 3 full sales meetings. And then Sales Help 2 had 2 full sales meetings. So they retail now for $199 a piece. There's great content. The benefit of doing it live with us is that you have an opportunity now to turn and then ask questions. So whoever buys the recorded versions now that we have on creatingconnections.biz, you'll be able to won't have the access to be able to ask live questions, but you'll be able to hear the live questions that were asked on the calls originally. So I think it's been a great help. I hope it's been a great help. And I know the people that have taken it have given us great reviews. So
absolutely, because it's presenting actual ideas and scenarios for couples, being creative with them. And not only this, but it's a concept, an idea that you can continue with endlessly and keep doing this because you're dealing with different personalities, different situations, different couples. So you can keep engaging them in different ways. And I'm sure based on what they're saying too, is a way that you could really focus in and focus on what their needs are. So that's different presentation every time too. And that's what I've noticed with it. It's not the same. And you may talk a little bit about yourself in the beginning. You let couples know who you are. Yeah. So that story, you have a story to tell. Yes. And it's a good story that they could connect to, and they could kind of just unwind after that and feel comfortable talking to you. But then after that, it's a different thing. So they may have a need for somebody looking forward to a more emotional bride who would have that connection with dad. And how would you present a special dance? There's a number of ways you could do that. If you have a bride that's not too close to her dad, then you probably wouldn't go in that direction when presenting information. So it's not the same process every time. Yeah.
I have a process that I follow, but I don't sit there and bore them with a PowerPoint every single, thing. And frankly, the steps can all jump around.
Right.
This last sales meeting I had in my office on Monday was very much a all over the place meeting. Mm-hmm. Today, even right before we jumped on, you heard last part of the phone call that I had with the groom. He called in, hey, I'm getting married. I'm searching for Escanaba DJs, and your name pops up, and what's your price? I'm like, okay. So you got a bus from Google. Where are you having your reception? And, I'm like, okay, you guys are from here, but you live here. Okay, cool. I'm like, what are you looking to create? Well, we just need 3 hours of music, and it's not going to be a big thing. And we're doing 6 to 9 that's going to be it. I'm like, okay, I get you're having a destination wedding, but if it's just going to be 6 to 9 and you just want music, why don't you just plug in an iPod?
Right.
Okay. Now, most DJs be like, what? What are you doing? You're going to send them to an iPod? If it's not my client, it's not my client. But I'm also going to take a swing. Okay.
Sure.
I want the swing. Every single time I want the swing. So you have to throw the curveball. Go to the baseball analogy still. You have to throw a curveball. So for him, he's in his head thinking, I'm going to get a quote for 500 for 4 hours or 6 or whatever the number is, right? Is what he's thinking in his head. I said, listen, why have it at the island then? At the casino out here, the Island Casino. Why have it at the Island Casino? Well, it seemed like a central place for everyone to gather, and we can get hotels. And okay, cool, I get that. But you have people traveling from all over to come to this. and you had a destination wedding, and I get your wife doesn't want the big to-do and all that. I get it. But the reality is, I don't know if it's holidays. I don't know what it is. And I told him, I said, I'm very upfront. I'm like, I don't normally go this direction on the phone with the groom first thing like this, but I just feel, this is what I need to tell you at this point. And I said, I don't know if it's holidays or what, but here's the reality. Not all of your family may be there next year. And so at some point, I think your wife is going to look back and she may regret the decision to have this be just a dinner get together with music in the background. And you can have background music. You can plug a laptop into the Island Casino, sound system. You'd probably be okay if that's all you want. But not everyone may be here next year. So is that what you want them to remember? Is just, oh, we had dinner, I went to the casino, and that was it.
Right.
And it's okay if that's all you want, but then we're probably not a right fit. Or we're really expensive fit.
Nice.
It is what it is.
Okay.
And so I gave him a starting point at that point. I gave him a starting price. I said we start at $1,500 and go up from there. We have like one availability left for your day, which we do. He's August. And I said, happy to at least sit down and have a conversation. And at the very least, at the end, you have more information with what to look for and know what to look for versus just calling around to all these DJs and thinking they're all the same when the reality is they're not. Because you may be surprised.
But asking intelligent questions by throwing that curveball to get them to think a little bit about that this is going to be most likely very important to his wife-to-be and him and the people that are going to be coming to celebrate with them, the people that they both love so much.
Well, and it may not be right now.
Yeah. And
it may not be until a year from now. It may not be until 5 years from now. But I guarantee you, I bet, that more likely than not, she at some point may regret that decision. But it's her choice. I mean, we can't sit here and force clients. All we can do is be educated,
right,
and have the knowledge of ourselves to know how we can break through this mindset of a DJ is a DJ is a DJ. No, I'm sorry.
Right.
Nothing could be further from the case because Jason Janai's talents far surpass my talents. And Bill Herman's talents far surpass my talents. But Bill Herman as a DJ experience and Jason Janai as a DJ experience are two vastly different experiences.
Sure.
They're both great experiences. Don't get me wrong. They're both great. But depending on the client and what you want, you might be doing them a disservice by choosing one of those over the other. Not to use those two specifically, but
No, that's a good point. And having the focus a client that you're working with and a good fit for you. And you talk about that a lot. And client focus. I was on a conversation with a DJ last night. This is how much I'm obsessed with trying to help DJs. 11 o'clock last night, I'm on Facebook Messenger chatting away with this DJ. A great guy. He's a member of Sales for Event Pros as well. And he put together this awesome video, like this seriously killer video. But I really didn't like the voiceover. Like the video content was great. The editing was crisp and beautiful and just perfect. And I'm like, this is a killer video, except the voiceover is just, it just doesn't do it for me. Like the voiceover, if the video content and the editing is here, the voiceover is here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
It's not just the quality of the talent of the voiceover. The quality was, good.
Okay.
It wasn't phenomenal, but it wasn't horrible either. It was good, I would say. It was the words used that I felt could have been a lot better and a lot more client-focused. So client-focused to me is always, want to see if it's the right fit.
It's huge. It's very important.
So I guess to sum it up, Jim, I think that if you are struggling right now in your business, in some aspect, I don't care where it is, but sales, planning, production, performance, marketing, operations, whatever. If you're struggling somewhere, then you need to figure out how to get better. And it starts by what I did on live at 7:55 this morning, looking in the mirror, and really taking a hard look at your business in the mirror and yourself in the mirror. And then say, what are you going to do about it? And the reality is there are way more resources today than existed even 5 years ago for you to improve. There's episodes like this. If you want to dig even deeper, then you get into workshops, or you get into seminars and then workshops to dig deeper. And workshops to me are really where it's at to truly understand. I don't know about you, but I learned by doing.
Yeah.
I learned by watching. I learned by doing. And I think the vast majority of our population, if you do a study or something, will show they learn by doing better.
Absolutely.
So workshops to me is where it's at. And having an open mind to accept that the way you're doing it, or the way you've done things for the last 2, 5, 10, 20, whatever years, there can be improvement to. And there should be improvement to. I'm a firm believer you never arrive.
Yes.
And that to me is another premise I've lived on, is that you never arrive. And so I believe that, anything you can do to try to improve yourself, episodes like this are great. Seminars are good. Workshops definitely to me are the creme de la creme. Or get some private coaching. I've got a few private coaching clients that I take on as well, that I work with basically once a month throughout the year. And we work on their business, on specific sales, focus on their business, or building their brand, or that kind of thing. And so there's definitely some opportunities. Of course, you have DJN TV, you have DJ Center Stage TV, you've got our podcast with Vicky, you've got Mike Walter has some great training materials. Pick up. If you want to do workshops, you can delve into Bill Herman's The Entertainment Experience. Is probably one of the best workshops I've ever taken. Marbecca method changed my life.
Yes.
Unequivocally. If you haven't taken a Marbecca method workshop, please go get in one. It will change your life. I believe it will anyway. Acting, comedy. I've done comedy boot camps with Louis Anderson and Kyle Cease. Any sort of improv you can get into. But find out where you're weak. And then if you're looking for a sales coach, hi, I'm here. We have sales help. You can pick up on tailoredsales.com or creatingconnections.biz. We've got a few other seminars and products available on either of those sites. And again, I wrote the book, Sales for Event Pros. You can pick it up on Amazon, on my site. We also have it on Audible as well. So
awesome. Mitch, thanks so much for all you do in the industry. I'm a huge fan, and it's so greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
That's all the time we have today. So thanks for watching.